All right, welcome to episode 32 of Stream Roulette. I'm Daniel Towns with Steph Broadbridge.
Hello.
And we watched...
Rick and Morty.
We did. So let's get into it.
Let's do it. Welcome to episode 32 of Stream Roulette. I'm Steph Broadbridge here with Daniel Towns. Hey, Daniel.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm back in Sydney.
Yeah, finally. Back in the same room. Yeah, nice.
For a little bit.
Where was the last place you were?
Melbourne.
And where do you go next?
Dubbo.
When's that?
October.
Oh, that's all right.
With you.
All right. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, of course. I don't see New South Wales don't count to me, though.
No, they don't.
Like, they do and they don't. But one night, like, my thing is if I can potentially, like, if there's an emergency and I can drive home, it's not, you know? Like, it's a long way still, but it's not.
I still count them.
Yeah,
If it's an overnight, I count it.
Oh, look, it's definitely an overnighter in it, but it's nowhere near as like, oh, I'm going to the Gold Coast for 3 nights or I'm doing,
No,
you know.
true.
The best one I ever had was a gig in the Gold Coast in the day.
Yeah.
Like, it was at some surf club, like Miami Beach Surf Club. It was like a surf club function.
Yeah.
You know, but they had, like, you know, you wouldn't know him, but like he's the guy on top of the NRL trophy, the Winfield Cup or whatever it's called these days. Like,
Okay.
He was that guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't know
He was
him.
like 7 foot tall and it was a really iconic muddy photo from back in the day. But like he was like the guest speaker there or whatever. But the gig was at 12. So my flight was like maybe 9 or 10, depending on what the time was. Got there, jumped in a cab, went straight to the gig, got changed, did the gig, and then just flew home. Like I was home by 3.
That's awful.
No, it was awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that.
Really?
Yes. The idea of going on a plane and then going back on a plane.
Oh, no, look, that's an inconvenience, but I'd rather do that than like stay the night.
Really?
Oh, if I can get home.
No.
Like if I flew to Perth and did a gig in Perth that night, I'd be on the red eye, like if it was one night.
I like staying over.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired of that now.
I like feeling like I did something when I was there.
Yeah, that's true. I like waking up in my own bed.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like getting home. There was one year when I was really busy. Like it was the UK, and actually I don't even think it was cruises. It was just all the time I'd spent over in the UK. And this was, I spent 183 nights in either hotels, apartments, or accommodation that wasn't mine.
That's too many.
And and the fact that I counted it, and at the end of the year, like all I did was open my calendar on my computer. 'Cause it's all blocked out. It was all blocked out
Yeah.
you know, and I just went up and tallied them and I was like, fucking hell. Like, I'm exhausted. And then,
Yeah. It's so tiring, isn't it?
Well, they're all so similar. Like, even the one in Perth, as soon as I
Yeah.
got in there, I'm like, fuck, this is exactly the same as the one in Noumea.
Yeah.
Like, there's only so many. Like, honestly, in all that time, I remember, like, maybe 5 hotels where I'd go, wow,
Yeah.
you know, like really nice. And other ones, like the rest of them are just so similar.
I think that's good though. I stayed in one in Melbourne called the Ink Hotel.
Yeah.
And it was trying to be a bit different.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the fact it was different just annoyed me because it was like, where's the thing? Like, you get used to
It was like when-
you know what I mean? I'm like, where's the coffee?
Remember when Vibe Hotels first rolled out and they had like lube and condoms and shit under the bed?
Yeah. It's like, fuck off. Some of us are working.
I think one of the scummiest ones we ever did, it was my second ever Melbourne.
Yeah.
And it was, Nick Son didn't even end up staying there in the end. He was going to, but he ended
Like
up,
a month of Melbourne.
There was a month of
were
Melbourne.
paying for a hotel.
It wasn't a hotel. It was the Hotel Formula One.
Yeah.
So it was me. It was meant to be Nick Son, but he didn't end up staying. So it was me, Daniel Moore, a guy Justin Lodge, and just someone from Melbourne that lived in the burbs was flying, and she was staying there a lot of the time too. You know, and it was 4 of us on top of each other, but there was no kettle. Like, because it's 2 stars, right? And it's like the kind of place where you have to shower. Like, it's 2 big bunk. You know, like it was grim.
No.
It was so grim. But then Nick was coming over every day to shower because the place where he stayed didn't have like running water.
Yeah.
Like he was just like essentially sleeping on a mattress at a floor in some upper city thing on Elizabeth Street, like on the back of Chinatown. Like it was so random. Like almost a squat. Oh. You know? And yeah, that was...
It sounds so glamorous when you like read it in someone famous's autobiography, but like when you're actually living it, it's like this is not.
No, look, I can see why people that are on the road a lot start to get fussy, because you can tell when like there's something like if you hit a king size bed and it's a real king size bed and it's firm.
Yeah.
And like it's like that's comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, those ones you don't mind as much because it's like, all right, I'm comfy here. But the ones where you just jump in and the bed kind of fucking folds like a sandwich around you, and you know, like pancake pillows and.
Honestly, okay, a firm pillow. If I have a firm pillow, a kettle, and like pretty good water pressure,
yeah,
I will forgive everything
water
else.
pressure's a must.
Yeah.
Like good shower, definitely. Yeah, good shower, soft pillows.
And the shitter that everything is, the more complimentary biscuits I expect.
You're expecting, yeah, right. They're the first things I usually eat.
Yeah, same.
When I go in. Really? Yeah, I usually
so
have
like,
the
if
biscuits.
there's like 3 packets of biscuits, but it's a really uncomfortable bed, I'm like, that's okay.
Yeah.
They made up for it. They know what they are.
You only really get the biscuits though in the motor inns.
Yeah, but they're the best ones.
Some of them are really nice.
Yeah.
Some of them are like the ones that have been refurbed. Like, because they're kind of cutesy and like they feel more homey.
Yeah.
Whereas hotels feel very, just carbon copy. Like.
Oh man, I hate them. I stayed with my sister. It was really nice in Melbourne.
That's good. When you're staying with someone, it's nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice, especially if it's like family and somewhere where you can just be yourself as opposed to...
Somewhere that has like toast.
Oh, yeah, amenities.
Like I can make toast.
Yeah. And being your sisters, you probably didn't have to go and buy bread as soon as you landed.
No.
Yeah. I find that hard when I'm on the road too. Like I get somewhere and the first thing I'll usually do is go to a supermarket and buy at least a banana and an apple for every morning. You know what I mean? And maybe like some muffins or just something to tie me over in the room. So the first thing I do when I wake up isn't like, oh, fuck, now I got to go get breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, the lives we lead. But plenty of time to watch television.
We do.
Which brings, have you watched anything else other than Rick and Morty?
I've actually I've started rewatching The Simpsons.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it'd been a huge gap for me.
Geez, we should do that on the...
Yeah, we should on the Patreon.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I'd be... What seasons are you watching?
I'm up to season 2. I just started.
So you went right back to the start?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Do you reckon you'll tap out at season 10? Like...
Well, I'm keen to like give it some context.
Okay. Yeah, all right. How many seasons are there now? Like 30, isn't it?
Yeah, there's some crazy amount.
And do you think you'll go all the...
I reckon.
Because I pretty much went to like the first 10 or 12 years and then it just became one of those. And when I have dipped back into newer episodes, like there's a lot of rehashed storylines.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we've done this one.
Yeah. Yeah, and stuff that felt fresh then isn't fresh anymore because other people have stolen the tropes and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was super influential. This was a fantastic show. I mean, it probably still is. I feel like South Park aged the best out of all of them.
Oh, definitely.
You know, which is hard being topical. Because if you look, like if it was only, it has to keep going to maintain that title though.
Yeah, true.
Not now, because people will say for its time, like for that 30 years or whatever it ran for, like that was the best one.
Yeah.
But if it only went for 5 or so, it would have been like, oh, it was just topical.
Well, I think Rick and Morty's probably the closest thing that could have potentially toppled South Park.
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you been watching?
Well, yeah, before we get to Rick and Morty, we've watched a few things. There was one, what was it called? Oh, Dated and Related we started, just because I wanted to watch some trash. And like it
wasn't good.
No, it was bad. Like we wanted good bad.
Yeah.
And it was just bad. You know, and it was like, that's fucked. And we tried The Secret Lives of Bollywood Wives.
Yeah.
Which was quite interesting. It was very, like, there's no bitching or cattiness kind of thing. So it's not like a...
Too subtle.
Yeah, it was like...
You like him dirty.
It was like the Bling Empire. Yeah. It's like, come on. Yeah. Don't be so polite.
Yeah.
No, but there was a thing in it, like, because it was, like, they're all obviously Bollywood actors, but so were the wives.
Right.
But then in the day, they're still like got a dress shop and like they've got businesses and whatnot, whereas I don't think the men did.
Yeah, right.
And then one of them doesn't act anymore. and they're trying to convince it. Like, but the thing there was one interesting thing in the episode which isn't accessible to people like me, and probably wouldn't have even known something like this ever existed if it wasn't for watching this show. But once a year, there is an event in Paris, and but the person who organises this is their job.
Yeah.
It was at the Shangri-La. Like, I guess they're the director of this thing. It's called Le Bal. It's Le Ball or whatever. It's one night, and it's essentially a debutante ball, like Bridgerton style.
Yeah.
But it's elite children and children of like wealthy families, and then artistic children, artists.
Yeah.
You know, like, and one of the kids of one of the Bollywood actors on there got invited because they're mega rich, right? And
Yeah.
they were the only Indian people that got invited that year. And like they're talking about all the other Indian people that had been invited in the past and like how prestigious it was. And then they're at the thing, and it was just such a primitive. Like, I just couldn't believe it was still happening.
Yeah.
You know, but it was so like Jet Li, you know, that actor?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he was there with his kid. Mm-hmm. And like one of the guys was there with his daughter, and he's talking to like, and it's like, oh wow, this stuff.
It's like the stuff conspiracy theories are made of, right?
But it's weird to me that that kind of thing still exists. And I think you could probably only get away with this day and age somewhere like Paris. 'Cause
Yeah.
you can hide behind the pretense of it.
Yeah.
You know, and like make it. But
Has to be
essentially
somewhere old.
It was 16 to 21-year-old, I think. Like depending on the age of legality and
Yeah.
where they were from. Like she was 16,
Right.
you know. But then I guess, yeah, it was super like disturbing. It was kind of like, this is a bit creepy.
It makes me want to watch it though.
That was probably the only thing that would be worth watching it for and having an opinion on.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause other than that, like I can't remember it
They should do a documentary on that. That'd be fascinating.
on that actual event.
Yeah.
I wonder how they'd get access. Well, Netflix got it, I guess,
Yeah.
for this show.
People want to be on TV.
Tell you what, Netflix are pumping out a lot of content, like themselves.
Yeah.
Like you look now and there's a lot of like only on Netflixes and like Netflix exclusives, and it's just like, yeah, that's a lot of shit to watch. So look, with Rick and Morty, I didn't watch season 6.
What do you mean?
Well, because I haven't seen it. And
it's only one episode.
No, I know, but I started with season because I'd already started with season 1.
Yeah.
And then the plan was I'll do season 6
Yeah.
and 5. Like,
Yeah.
just to get some context. But I really liked it.
Yeah.
So I don't want to know.
Ah.
Kind of, you know what I mean? It's that. Like, I'm going to keep watching it. I really liked it. Like, that fucking second episode with Scary Terry and the
Yeah.
whole Freddy Krueger parody. And, like,
Yeah.
that's...
Inception.
I didn't realise it was Community people or Dan Harmon.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that sold me straight away.
Right.
Like, as soon as the first episode finished and I enjoyed it,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, man. Like, it's one of those things where I'll at least, like, it's going to get a season out of me.
Yeah. The first
Yeah,
season, it might be some of the best TV.
Oh,
It's a bit like Community in that way. The first couple of seasons are like phenomenal.
Yeah. Community
Yeah.
was, fantastic.
I'll just quickly read the blurb
Yeah.
just in case. I mean,
Yeah.
I think everyone's seen it, but just in
Well,
case.
I hadn't.
Well, that's true. You hadn't. An animated series that follows the exploits of a super scientist and his not so bright grandson.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the only way you can.
And I didn't even
sum
read
it up.
that.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to figure out who they were because I got it like he was an alcoholic and he just tried to
Yeah.
get his grandkid to take the blame for all the shit.
So apparently that opening sequence in the pilot is improvised.
Which bit?
The opening where he drags the kid out of bed and takes him onto the spaceship.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So a lot of it's improvised.
I liked the bit when he was banging on about the web address. Like, it was at the end of an episode.
Yeah.
Morty was on the ground, just like, it's just whatever he just kept repeating. Yeah, I improvised. That's impressive.
Yeah. So it's a totally different way of approaching
Animation.
So
So what, then they're drawing after the fact
Yeah.
then? Well, what's the production schedule on that?
the turnaround,
Yeah.
pretty slow.
I was going to say, might
They're
have to be. Well, what is
kind
it, a
of
yearly
famous
thing?
for
Like one?
no, they're famous for being like really annoying with their turnaround.
Like annoyingly slow.
Well, slow and inconsistent.
Well, that's probably got something to do with the work involved, though.
Kind of like what South Park is now. It's like you don't know when another season's coming. They're just like, Maybe in a year, maybe tomorrow,
Imagine having that.
maybe in 4 years. We don't care.
Imagine having that level of fucking
Yeah.
control though over what you wanted to do. Who
Yeah.
else has that? Larry David. Yeah, I'll do another season of Curb.
Yeah.
10 years later, you know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's privilege for sure.
Because I got to say, animated shows for me are like it's either going to be fantastic or garbage.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that I can just watch if it's average, where I can with.
Yeah, right. I
like
love animation.
Other TV. No, I love animation,
Yeah.
but it has to be fucking good.
Yeah.
You know, like if it's just like meh,
Yeah.
like I can't watch it. Whereas I can watch meh television or meh movies.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whereas the animation, it has to be something either that I want to see, like the movie where it tells a story, or it's just one of those fucking Pixar or Disney things or whatever. Or like with TV, yeah, like it's got to be and I try most of it because I like animation. But until I started this, and this was probably before it, but the last one I really liked was BoJack.
Yeah, that's so good.
You know, like
Yeah.
but I tried that, like you know the Big
Similar.
Mouths
I think there's a
and-
little bit of improvisation in that as well.
Big Mouth and Disenfranchised and all those ones that Netflix rolled out, and like there's been a whole bunch, and you know they're trying to make them rude and
Yeah.
what's that Bill Burr one?
Oh, yeah.
F whatever.
F's for family.
Yeah, like I've tried a bunch of them, and yeah.
You didn't like them?
I didn't mind it, but that one was too. I don't know, too suburban American for me.
Yeah, right.
Like it's not as universal. Like I don't know, maybe it's just the setting. Like it's good. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, it's good and it's different to all of them. Like it's different in that sense that that's what it is. It's opposed to a made-up world like Springfield or
Yeah, but it's very 70s.
yeah,
Early
yeah. No,
80s,
it really is.
which
Actually,
is
that's
not
true.
my era. It's before my era.
That was his childhood.
So I don't get any of those nostalgia
yeah, right. Okay.
little, because you get the nostalgia vibes when it's the music from your time and it's the products, the TV shows, all of the clothing, all of that stuff is what makes those shows kind of stick to you, I think.
Because I think I've watched BoJack now maybe 7 or 8 times.
Wow.
Like I've seen it heaps, and that was the kind of show where when a new season would come out, I'd re-watch the previous season
Yeah.
just so I knew what was happening and where they were and what was going on. And
So how did Rick and Morty slip your...
like I'm on the subreddit, like you know, like
Yeah.
yeah. I love that all that. How did Rick and Morty? I think it was just one of those
Yeah.
things where it was just too busy,
Right.
like and just watching other stuff, and you know, it just
And
didn't
just
cross
didn't-
my radar.
Right.
Yeah. Like I've always been aware of it, and
Yeah.
Morty just got added to a video game.
Yeah, well, I just saw down the road at your local convenience store, they're selling Rick and Morty Maxi Bon ice creams.
Really? Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pickle me mint Rick or
Yeah,
something. Yeah. They've been there for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think and before BoJack, I couldn't tell you before that. Probably would have been South Park.
Yeah. Well, I would say I would put this in the same category as those animations
Okay.
for popularity and innovation
Yeah. Okay.
and the impact it's had on popular culture.
Yeah. Oh, you can definitely. There's got to be a massive impact there if they're getting added to video games.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they've really found their target. It's one of those situations where it's like you don't get to pick your fans.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Okay.
because I think a lot of the fans of Rick and Morty are now sort of famous for being really annoying, incelly
Oh, really?
dudes that think that they're smarter than everyone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
What? Like example?
Well, there's a whole bunch of memes on it. There's like millions of like subreddits about it.
Really? So
And
the
it's-
fan base is quite toxic.
Super toxic, super young guy, early 20s. Like, I don't think you actually even get that this is irony.
Oh, yeah, right. I think a lot of fan bases can be quite toxic though, especially once you dive into the Reddits and the
Yeah.
like posting on Reddit is different. Posting an opinion of something on Reddit is different to posting an opinion of something on your own Facebook or even Twitter.
True.
You know, like if you can tweet a thought and no one sees it, but if you write on Reddit and like you see legitimate comments get upvoted. I mean, downvoted.
Really?
Oh, haven't you ever seen that? Like someone,
I'm
and then
not big on Reddit.
someone else will say, like, "Oh, I can't believe why are you getting all the downvotes? Like, that's a valid point. And then someone else jumps in and goes, oh, most people just see 3 or 4 and then they just hit down on the way past. And it's true. Like, I've done it. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So, it is. It's true. So, like, to get that kind of... But, yeah, like, and I only really started using Reddit lockdown.
Yeah.
It's only on my phone and it's just video game stuff.
Okay.
Like and some TV shows like The Wire and Curb and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I just go to them, usually the subreddits, and see what's happening because usually that's where the better stuff.
Yeah. And by better, you mean
Oh no, there's information.
more honest.
Yeah, and the information's there.
Yeah.
Like usually along about the same time as Twitter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's also you find other things on there that you can't find on Twitter. Like I'll find links to things that
Yeah.
you know, like I got into a game test via Reddit.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like just by
Yeah, I
But-
think the only thing I've used Reddit for is finding free versions of TV shows I wanted to watch.
it's an interesting. It's an interesting platform.
Yeah.
Like I think you'd probably enjoy it.
I'm worried I would, yeah.
Well, because I've just tailored. Like I said, all right, I'm only going to use this as like. It's more enjoyable than say. Like, it's very enjoyable. Like, if you set your preferences up and what you follow, like your news and then your popular, like, if you only wanted to follow people that make fucking pigtails, like, you could have your whole thing. You know what I mean? But, like, so it's whatever your interests are. Like, it's good like that. It's kind of a curated...
I think that's dangerous, though. I don't want my internet to be too curated.
Oh, don't worry. It's not an echo chamber.
Yeah, right.
There's people there that don't like the thing that you love.
Yeah.
And they're just as vocal in the comments.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's unbelievable. Like some of the things. And it's easy to get. And the beauty of Reddit is too, like, I don't think they delete a comment. Like, it'll stay there forever. You can't delete it. All you can do is delete your account and then it just says deleted user. You know what I mean? So everything really is...
Wow.
Yeah, so you see a lot of that when you read through big arguments. Like there's a Sydney thread. There's a Sydney subreddit. And stuff will just be like something that happened or something that was on the news and everyone's in there chipping in their opinions and whatnot. And that one's actually usually pretty good. Same as some of them, like there's a finance one.
Yeah,
like
right.
Australian finance tips and like it's just you go in there and read or like, you know, and it's like, oh, okay, this is... But yeah, like certain communities that aren't helpful...
Yeah.
And it probably is a lot of the ones that are majority male. I mean, I don't know. I guess they're the ones I'd have the experience in.
Yes.
Because, I mean, there's a game, Hollow Knight, right? It's an indie game that was developed by a company in South Australia, just to give you an idea of the size and budget of the company that made it. I think there was only 3 of them, or like a team of 5 or something that worked on the game. Became a global success, like to the point where people have said it's one of the best in the genre, which is like
Huge.
of all time.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
which is massive. And they've been saying they're having a sequel. And there was a gaming like expo or something like a couple of months back and they had a live stream.
Yeah.
And like no one's heard anything from the company for a while. Like their Twitter's been quiet.
Yeah.
And like they have announced it. And then they went live on Twitch or something and did this thing and every single fucking comment was just Silk Song, we want Silk Song, when Silk... Like it was just the whole fan base who loved this thing, but they were just abusing the...
Yeah, because
Like
I
we've
hadn't
been
given them
waiting too
exactly
long.
what they wanted.
Give us what we want. We've wanted this for ages. What are you doing? Where are the updates? Like I don't think a lot of people take into consideration how much is involved in getting something out there.
Oh, man.
You know,
Yeah.
like when it comes to
Well, yeah, I mean, people consume things so quickly.
and people, I think they
And
also,
and also you're deprived of good things a lot. You know, so much stuff is shit.
that's true. And
that
when you
when you
want
have
something and
something
you've been
good-
told it's coming,
You do really become very loyal and attached, and this show, I think Rick and Morty specifically, taps into a lot of the values of a young person who's like, I'm too smart for society, and that's why everyone rejects me, and that's why I'm depressed.
well, which character's that though? Because
It's
from what I can see, the kids
Rick.
dumb and the dad's
They're Rick.
okay. Well, I got to say,
He's
like,
the hero. He's the anti-hero, but he's the hero.
I got to say, like, he was the one I enjoyed.
Of course.
Yeah, and straight away when I made the decision to keep watching it, it was after I'd laughed a few times, but it was his voice.
Yeah, and he's very nihilistic, and
Who voices it?
he's voiced by Justin Roiland. He does both Rick and Morty.
Okay, and I noticed in the 3rd episode that what's his face voices a character.
Which one?
Who's that British guy? John Oliver? Or
Oh,
whatever?
John Oliver, yeah.
Is he regularly in it, or was that just a one-off?
I think he's just in that episode.
Because that was pretty cool too. And I was like, all right, oh, okay, here we go.
And is it Chris Parnell, the guy from Dr. Spaceman from 30 Rock?
Dr. Spaceman. Dr. Spaceman.
Yeah. He plays the dad.
Yeah, I got to say, Tracy Morgan was a fucking great character, wasn't he?
Yeah.
For the TV show.
But I think the dad character in Rick and Morty is the most interesting one for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's only been in a few times at this stage for me, so I guess you've got bigger knowledge.
Yeah, I've seen it a lot. I've watched it a few times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So you like incel boy shows, huh?
I scarily do have a lot of crossover with young incel.
I didn't even know what an incel was till...
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure most people didn't.
I
right?
didn't know what it was till it's not cool to call it that anymore. Like...
Yeah, well, that kind of... Yeah.
I'm like KFC. Do you know what I mean? I'm so behind. I'm using rad now. They're like, no, we don't do that anymore.
But like one night I was at home and I thought, I want to see what this is. Like it was one of those things I'd read the word a few times and I was like, okay, this is something I need to be aware of now. Yeah. Like what is this? And I had a look and I'm like, this doesn't. And I found a forum.
Yeah.
And it was like, fucking hell. Like it's disturbing. Like it was, yeah. And it's like, you can't believe that kind of shit.
They hate women, but they're not even aware that they hate us.
No, and they put it down to their, involuntary
celibates is what it's short for.
It's their choice.
It's not their choice.
Oh, yeah.
It's society's fault.
Yeah, that's right. So they're not responsible.
No. And women have been brainwashed into believing that we want attractive, successful men.
As opposed to men
on
internet forums.
A 17-year-old boy who lives with his parents and
needs to go outside and touch some grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's just irving. But I guess the internet's just opened it up for those kind of... There's so many niche...
Yeah. They've got a...
I'm not saying that's...
They've found other versions of them who... That's the echo chamber.
Well, it's got to be empowering. Like in that sense. Like imagine thinking you were the only loser.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden the internet
then you're like,
comes
there's heaps of us.
Oh, there's heaps of...
Validating everything I thought, which is I don't have to change. It's not my fault.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm fine. It's the world that's broken. And this show, Rick and Morty, taps into all of that mentality.
Is that a good thing to tap into?
No, it's not. That's why the fan base is that.
But how is the show
that's not his only
so
fan
popular
base.
then?
Because it's a great show. It's a brilliantly written show. It's really funny. It's fresh. And like comedians love it, I think, because it's...
But then how is that the audience that it's found?
Because I'm seeing those characters as... Because
that's interesting.
I'm seeing those characters as parodies and they're seeing those characters
as real.
As people that they can aspire
to
be. Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe I enjoy it from a different perspective. I don't relate to any of the characters. I just find it really cleverly written and I feel like the characters are quite real.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I need to...
Like Summer, the teenager girl, she's great as well. She's very well-rounded. They're all well-rounded. The humour comes from them being real people. I mean, definitely exaggerated, but...
Good cartoons are so memorable.
Yeah.
And they're a fantastic way for longevity.
Well, this
cartoons and fucking puppets.
True.
Because you can't age. You know what I mean? Like, if The Simpsons was real... If The Simpsons was real people... Like
yeah. How old would they be now?
Oh, fucking...
47?
Yeah. No, but even then it wouldn't have gone past 6 or 7 seasons.
Well, Homer Simpson is 34.
In the show.
How does that make you feel?
Like, they don't know how to draw a 34-year-old.
Like, isn't that scary?
I would have said at least late 40s.
No.
So what's Marge then?
The same, similar age, yeah.
Well, that's an 80s 34.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it? That's a 1980s 34-year-old.
They're 34.
Jesus.
I know.
That's not...
I know.
Yeah, right. How old's Bojack? I don't even know how old. Oh, he's got to be older because there was 20 year gap.
Yeah, I think 40s.
He must be in his mid or late.
Yeah.
That show to me is so...
I know, it's brilliant.
But then there's still, like, I remember, like, I got a box set of Astro Boy. Do you remember that?
I never saw it, but I know the cartoon.
Yeah, like, and I just got it like it was a collector's thing. And, like, and there was one of my friend's kids, and I put on an episode for them. And I was like, this is actually still really good. And there's stuff in it that you don't realise as a kid. And maybe it was because it was a Japanese thing, like, and it wasn't a Western made, but it was like every episode there was a lesson.
Yeah, right.
But you didn't. I never realised as a child.
You just enjoyed it.
Yeah, like I just enjoyed the show and, you know, all the kind of stuff. And then you watch it as an adult and it's like, oh, wow, that's a really good message about, you know, like that they get out of it.
Yeah. Well, did you watch The Toys That Made Us? It was on Netflix.
Hang on, what was in that? I know Buzz Lightyear wasn't he?
Yeah, it was a show about the toys.
Yeah,
toy
but which
industry.
other toys were on the? Because they was episodes. I've definitely seen the movies that made us. I don't know if we watched the toys.
The Toys That Made Us. There's like Barbie, He-Man, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, then yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I just thought it just based on what you were saying because a lot of the cartoons from that era were made to sell the toys.
Oh, totally.
So the toy came first.
Yeah. Well,
so they created a toy and then built a TV show around the toy.
Well, I know Ninja Turtles, the toy came second.
Yeah, but I mean, that's why you remember the good ones is my point, because they were done the other way around.
Okay. Some of those old toys, what they're worth
Yeah.
is insane.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I know someone who...
But what kind of kid leaves their toy in plastic?
Well, I don't know. Well, I said to one of my...
Like, that's not a good life. That's a bad childhood.
But when you see what they're worth...
Yeah.
Like, I got a box for a Nintendo console that's just cardboard.
Yeah.
And it's $300.
What?
Because you can get the game, but collectors want...
The box.
They want the cardboard and the little inserts, the booklets and where the cables... And, like, I just keep them and chuck them in a cupboard.
Yeah.
You know, and I was looking at something else, but I got a friend who... He always... Like, I don't know what girls do when they fucking move out, but lots of boys or your parents hold on to shit. And like I must have, there was one time I was cleaning out all my stuff and I found all those old toys. And there was a bunch that I said, no, hold on to those. Because I was like, maybe one day I'll have kids and give them to my kids. And anyway, I think that's how my friend started. And then like some of them are worth, like what they're worth is unbelievable. He's got like just a room in his house and there's all these like doubles and like there's...
That's a red flag, ladies.
Hey, that's just one interest. No, but it's just fascinating.
Run away.
It's just fascinating to me what like
I've dated that guy. It's no good.
No, but like what it's like the value there. Like and what people will pay for those toys.
100%. No, it's smart. But also I just can't help but think of like all the joy I got cutting off my Barbie's hair and drawing a bra on them with permanent marker and shit like that. I'm like, I feel like I got more out of that than I did out of the $300 it'd be worth if I'd kept it in its box.
I remember not crying, but I was very upset when I lost my He-Man arm. I lost his arm, but looking back, like, and knowing what an original He-Man is worth.
You should have been crying.
No, but I'm still glad I played with the toy.
Yeah, exactly.
But looking back, had I not, and like this is why I brought it up, and this is what I said to my friend, like, because with his kids, I said, man, if I was you, I would be buying doubles of all the well-made toys that are going to be big or that are massive franchises now, because it's like our childhood. Shit comes around.
Yeah.
You know, so in 20 years' time, when those kids are our age, they're going to be wearing cartoons of this era.
True.
You know, and then it's going to be Ben 10 and all that shit that's going to be worth fucking $500 for an original. You know what I mean? And I said, if you could afford it, I said, just get a second one and just
keep it away.
You know what I mean? Because obviously, because people want the box. You know, like because I couldn't buy something and not play with it.
No.
Like, but I think that's why it becomes something that adults go to, like men, adults, because they don't do it as a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they can't. Like, I know a guy.
Oh, definitely. Like, if you wanted to, like, analyze that, there's definitely something happened in their childhood.
Oh, it depends. Or maybe that's just their interest. You know, like
but why?
Well, I don't know. Like, I got another mate, and he's got a room bigger than this, or he had a room before he had a kid that was bigger than this.
Yeah.
And in it, the setup of video games in there, like, you could have filmed a TV show, like a video game TV show in there, and it would have been a better stacked out studio than video game shows have. Because it's just all this rare shit from Japan. But like these things, these storage things, but not half of the wall up to the roof. Just all full, like double stacked. But then there's like, you remember the old box TVs? The CRT televisions before flat screen? They play games from old consoles better.
Oh.
So he's got those TVs set up.
So that he can play those games.
The old consoles and run them at a better and whatnot. And then, you know what I mean? And like you look, and on Reddit and whatnot, like on gaming communities and all that kind of stuff, people post their setups and like all this kind of stuff. And then everyone's in there commenting, oh, that's a fucking sweet collection, pro. And like, all that, it's just like, I'm in a Nintendo.
Yeah, I'm not shitting on it. Like, it's definitely, I get it, but.
Rudy. You know Rudy?
Yeah, I know he collects stuff. I saw his posts on Facebook.
Yeah, because I sent him a few photos of some of my games because I don't collect them. I just have them.
I mean, I think my childhood analogy works in that.
Oh, massive. I think it works in everyone's. Like, I know what it is. I know exactly what I'm doing when I fire up that little machine there next to me. And, like, fucking hell. I'm currently playing a video game called Splatoon.
How old's that?
Well, it can be enjoyed by anyone. Nintendo make games that are easy to play but hard to master.
Yep. So Splatoon for when your dad was still around.
No, it's a shooting game, but there's no blood. It's paint instead.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Nintendo, they have something in every genre, but because it's a family console, they don't.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That my mum was their target market. We were only allowed games with no violence.
They're super smart.
Mario was too violent for my mum.
Really? And
The Simpsons was too violent for my mum.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird what parents have as a...
Yeah.
Like my mum always used to have a thing, like when I listen to hip-hop or whatever at home, she'd say, like, turn the bass down. Like she thought I could just, like, single out that frequency with the volume, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can turn it down.
Yeah. I can't turn the bass down.
I mean, I could get an equalizer or something, I suppose, but, you know, like it was such a, yeah, right, The Simpsons is too violent.
Yeah.
Well, I was definitely, that show was, that my parents didn't like me watching it when it first, like they didn't want me to watch it, especially when it first launched and it was very Bart. Like, because remember when it was first launched, they wanted Bart to be the main star and there was all those, I even had that shirt, Underachiever and proud of it.
Yeah,
and, like, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
You know? Like, yeah. And then after a while, I think they realised that Homer was the one that
he's a star.
Everyone loved and a lot more of the storylines and shit.
Well, because it's an adult show, so you can relate to the adult.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And just having a bratty kid, yeah.
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 Well, what do you think, Rick and Morty, how do you think kids would engage with this show? Do you think there's enough in it for them?
I don't know. I think you do need a certain level of fucking development. Like, and whether that's just finishing high school or whatever, but I don't,
You don't think you could just appreciate it as a 10-year-old boy and then imagining traveling around with your really cool grandfather?
Oh, look, probably.
Yeah.
I think you probably could.
There's probably a kid market for it.
Yeah, but
I'm sure they sell lunch boxes and pencil cases and school bags with Rick and Morty on it.
Yeah, and a lot of it would just go over their heads.
Yeah, well, I mean, The Simpsons was the same, right?
Yeah,
but
it's like even the Pixar ones, like the kids ones. If you watch those, like there's jokes in those that go over the kids' head.
Oh, totally.
Because they know that the parents are taking the kids to the movies, and they got to keep them entertained as well.
Different. That's a show written for kids with some adult jokes built into it.
Yeah, whereas this is
an adult show that has kids in it, so kids can have someone to relate to.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
What was your favourite cartoon as a kid? And like, not just comedy. Like you can throw in 5-minute Roger Ramjets on the ABC if you want.
What was my favourite cartoon as a kid? I really liked I think there was the Warner Brothers ones.
Yeah.
And they did like a series of nursery rhymes.
Yeah.
And my sister and I had the video of that.
Okay.
It was the Three Little Pigs and
yeah, right.
All those Red Riding Hood and stuff, and I was obsessed with them.
Okay.
It had great music and
they've always had good production, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were just the right length and
I like the Flintstones.
Oh right. Yeah, I never got into the Jetsons. I love the Jetsons.
The Flintstones.
Yeah.
This was all before school stuff.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles was very big to me when that came out.
Yes. I never watched it, but
87.
I was too. My mum didn't let me watching.
Yeah, right. That I'll tell you what. I rewatched that when I was in the UK.
Yeah.
And I would have been
like an adult.
Yeah, like. Hang on, I can tell you when it was. Yeah, it would have been like 30 to 32.
Yeah.
And like it was because of the house I was staying in there. Like.
Oh, because they don't have a TV license.
No, she did.
Oh.
But I worked at night and she worked in the day, so it was good in that sense. But like if I had a night off, Like, I
Yeah.
just stayed in my room. I left her, because of the way the house was set up, like, I left the lounge room kind of for her.
Yeah.
So she could just come home and watch TV and do a thing, whatever. And I was just, there was no TV in my room and I was fucking bored.
Yeah.
I was like, and I found them. They were all on YouTube.
Ah.
And I just started rewatching them, like, on nights off. And
Good?
it was funny.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's still a ridiculous cartoon about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but, like, structurally, you can see why
It works.
And it had, the characters, like Michelangelo and Raphael were enough to get me in that, the party guy and the sarcastic one, But like the humour, there was a lot of breaking the fourth wall and they used it quite a lot. And it's like, okay. And, like, stuff that I didn't even notice as a kid.
I have to watch it. I haven't seen it at all.
I wouldn't watch all of it.
No, I mean, I'm not going to. I don't have depression. I'm not going to do that. But
You're not alone in London.
my sister lived in Edinburgh for a while, and when she didn't have a TV license, so we watched all of X-Files. Same reason, just like
Really?
yeah, because it was there.
Oh, the things you'd have to do sometimes. I spent one New Year's Eve in Birmingham after a gig. Great gig.
Yeah.
And then went back to the hotel and everyone else is going on drinking and whatnot. And I just didn't want to be out in the city with like 4 million drunk people when I've just finished work and I'm sober. The hotel was like 50 metres away and I just went back there and watched an episode of The Sopranos. I think the best thing I ever did, though, was stop caring about New Year's Eve, though. Like, having to do something. Because when I was younger, I was definitely one of those, it's New Year's.
Yeah.
Like, we've got to do something.
Yeah.
And then when you realise that I can do this any night.
I do New Year's on my own.
Yeah. Well, I know why you'd do that.
Yeah. Every year. But, like, I make it a point so that it's not sad. I mean, it's still sad, but I make an active choice.
We should do a stream roulette special on New Year's Eve this year at like 11:45.
All right, but we have to Zoom because I can't get back into my apartment.
Oh, really? Yeah. All right. Well, so what are we going to... Oh, next week. Next episode.
Next episode. Didn't you have one?
Yes. We rolled the dice and partner track.
Partner track.
I didn't read the blurb, though, but...
Okay. It's like a dramedy, is that right?
It was about a law firm.
Okay.
Yeah, like I've read enough of it to know what it is. It's about a law firm. A bunch of people that are on the partner track at a law firm.
Great.
Trying to make partner.
With a female lead?
Yeah, and it says something about the glass ceiling in there, and there's a lot of fucking old white dudes.
Partner track.
But the main ones looked... Well, it was 2 women and a black guy that looks camp.
Okay.
Yeah, like they look like they're the ones in there.
So it's like a new show that they've just put out. Okay.
Yeah,
that sounds great.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Something. At least there's only a few episodes.
I'm not going to veto that. That sounds good.
All right. Good one. Well, we'll be back next time.
Yeah. Did you want to give Rick and Morty a score?
Oh, look, I'm going to leave it open, but I'll definitely say check it out because I'm going to keep going with it.
Yeah.
Like, I'll have more next week.
Yeah, for sure. Great show.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine you haven't seen it, but if you haven't,
check it out. Well, I hadn't, so there you go.
It's really good.
Yeah. All right. Catch you next time.
Bye.